everybody. Welcome to today's episode of The Daily Dose. Today is Wednesday, July 20th, 2022. And we saw a continuation of the markets rallying from yesterday. Tech led heavily. I believe the NASDAQ was up over 1.5%. The S&P 500, which we're going to take a look at here in just a minute, was up about 0.58%. And Tesla reported earnings after the close last night, and I think the market interpreted Tesla's earnings as being a good sign for the coming big tech earnings. So Tesla met their expectations and beat on a couple of their expectations, and also the real headline is that they sold about 75% of their Bitcoin, almost $1 billion worth. So let's take a look at this. So Tesla reported their Q2 earnings after the closing bell yesterday, and they beat on revenue as well as their adjusted EPS. They were just about even with the revenue, but they did beat it slightly, and they beat the EPS as well. So the company said that it sold 75% of its Bitcoin. It gave them about $936 million in cash on the balance sheet. However, this quarter, it ended their streak of record revenue. But the company went and addressed that. They said that they were having troubles in China in the Shanghai factory, and they still were able to produce more cars and produced more revenue than Q2 last year, even though that they saw slight decreases from Q1 of this year. The automaker said that they still expect to see 50% annual growth in vehicle deliveries, and they were able to beat vehicle deliveries year over year, even with problems in Shanghai and all of the issues that they've been facing in their supply chain. They were still able to beat it year over year. And they still expect to see a 50% annual growth. They also, I believe this is up here. Here it is. They achieved an operating margin among the highest in the industry of 14.6%. They had positive free cash flow of $621 million. And they had the highest vehicle production month in their history in June. And that's with Shanghai basically being a dumpster fire at the moment. So that's impressive for them. They said that the drop in production and delivery was traced back to the COVID lockdowns in China, but still a positive outlook for Tesla, according to the executives. So that's good if you're a Tesla shareholder. And the market interpreted it as a good sign for the big tech earnings to come, that maybe there won't be an earnings recession, but we'll have to see. You got to be careful in this market right now. So let's take a look at the S&P 500. We opened green. We rallied, we sold off a little bit, but then we really, really bought up throughout the day and ended green. We were at 0.59% today. So a continuation of the bullish trend that we saw yesterday if you zoom out. But this, I'm going to be honest, my computer's freezing on me. I apologize. Let's zoom in a little bit. Sure. This right here, if you're listening, there's a little bit of a triple top or really a head and shoulders if you were to look on a bigger time frame. Let's see if we can see it. Let's look at the 5 minute. Let's look at the 15 minute. Yeah, so this kind of looks like a double top on the 15 minute, even like a head and shoulders pattern with the right shoulder being lower, which is a bearish sign. You got the left shoulder right here, got the head, and you got the right shoulder, and you have your neckline right there. So I'm still thinking that this could be a trap for retail investors, thinking that we might have bottomed in the market. I wouldn't necessarily say that at all, especially with the macro environment we're still in that we talked about this weekend and earlier in this week. But like I said, also, it's never a bad thing to make money. So just have to be careful. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is selling a little bit, might come down and test this trend line before moving back up. I still expect Bitcoin to test this zone. Whether it sells off from there, we don't know yet, but I do expect Bitcoin to get to this level between 28,000 and about 29 or 30,000. When it gets to this zone, we'll know more. But yeah, it's doing everything that we thought it would do so far. It broke through the trend line, came back, touched, stayed green, and now it's selling a little bit. Maybe we'll get another test of that, or maybe not, and we just continue moving higher. So I'm still short term bullish on Bitcoin. Medium term, it's tough to say, but I am obviously a long term bull still on Bitcoin, even though Tesla sold 75%. And we've seen Elon Musk kind of do this before. What his strategy is with Bitcoin, I'm not entirely sure, but it does make headlines whenever Tesla is moving around their Bitcoin. And who knows what Elon Musk has done personally with his Bitcoin. So, yeah, Tesla sells 75% of its Bitcoin. I wouldn't look into that too deeply at all, really. Fundamentally, Bitcoin is sound, and technically we might see some gains here in the short term. So thank you for joining us today. I'm going to wrap it right there. Thank you for tuning into this episode of your Daily Dose. Be sure to join us this weekend for the weekly wrap. It's going to be a great episode. And be sure to join us on Thursday and Friday for the Daily Dose as well. But that'll be it. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.